Look, you could choose not to look at these signs just because they're good looking, or they have a golden dick, or they have that special poom poom. Okay, you could do that, but you're gonna pay the consequences. So let's begin. The first one, signs. Well, they're not even the first one, but people when they see you, they want three things. One of the three things, they either want to see more of you, less of you, or they're indifferent. In my opinion, you gotta learn when people want to see less of you more than anything, because when we are only focusing on signs that they like us, we tend to get confused, because a lot of the times people who don't like us also show signs that they like us. You get what I'm saying? So that tends to be confusing. When you're a hopeless romantic, or are walking around in deep pain, or looking for a savior in a relationship, and they show you that they don't like you, your need to believe that they're the one will call, especially if you start like having fantasies about them, because a lot of times when we meet people, we tend to have a type of ideal relationship we want. And if they kind of look like it, our brains will literally start to like hope that it is true. Like, oh my God, they have this trait, they have this trait, you know, the they have this they have this trait, they have this trait. And you start to hype them up in your mind, right? And this hyping them up in your mind, whenever you get signs that they don't like you, because humans have a strong will or need to believe, you'll start to lie to yourself and forget the negative signs. Because if you just lie to yourself, you could just live in a fantasy world. And then this is the thing, we love to lie to ourselves, because lies are fun, lies are pretty, lies are things that we could just play around with in our minds, especially if somebody gives us a good lie. So when we think that they're the one and they show signs of disinterest, your brain will literally, because it's so freaking biased, because of the confirmation bias, it'll disregard the negative signs. It's just focused on the positive signs. And if this happens long enough, and God forbid it works once, it'll be your almost your permanent way of looking at the world, where we call that the childlike perspective. In other words, when children are born, they tend to see their parents as amazing creatures, as all powerful. And the reason why kids do that is because they tend to exaggerate their parents' positive traits and diminish the negative traits, so that they can feel at ease in their presence and not feel stressed, so that then they can develop as children. We call that the naive perspective. And the problem is that some people never get out of that naive perspective. They grow up and start to see people from one point of view, from one perspective, and not understand that life is a contradiction. That people have contradicting qualities. And so whenever they get disappointed by someone, whenever they see signs that are negative, what people will do is that they'll literally ignore the negative signs. Just like politicians, if you have a politician and he's not good, but the other politician that's going to win is a threat to democracy, for example, I don't know what that's saying, you will literally, if the politician you're rooting for kick the baby, you'll literally forget about him kicking the baby, because you don't want this person to win. So in your mind, when you think of him, you're never going to think of the kicking of the baby thing. You're going to erase it. In fact, if the other side says, yo, the guy you're rooting for kicked the baby, you're going to say, what are you talking about? Yeah, he kicked the baby, but that baby deserved it. He's a nice guy. Like literally, you know what I'm saying? So we got to be careful with our mental eraser when we like someone, because then it'll put us in like honestly, the worst situations I've been in is because of me breaking this rule, not focusing on the negative and only focus. By the way, we're gonna go to a quick little commercial break. I'm just letting you guys know we have one-on-one coaching calls with Father Alex that are confidential and nobody finds out about it, right? The only time I tell stories is when clients give me the verbal permission, but generally speaking, one-on-one calls are private. Nobody knows about them. I have 60-minute calls, 45-minute calls, 30-minute calls, 15-minute calls, 10-minute calls, 5-minute calls. People, yeah, that's right. I got everything. And usually when people call me, their problem gets resolved. I'm not kidding with you. I'm asking for testimonials, because I don't ask for testimonials, but I'm gonna start asking for them. And what you'll notice from a lot of them is that they get the solution in the call. Okay, I mean, a lot of the times, I shouldn't say this, it really doesn't take too long. So if you guys want to work with me one-on-one, it's violent. If you guys want to work with me one-on-one, well, that's kind of violent too. Click on the description down below where it says work with Father Alex, and you could book a one-on-one coaching call. You could book a call with me today. Yeah, that's right, people. Whatever's going on, even if you don't have a problem, if you met someone and you like them, don't fuck it up. Book a call with me, or else they're going to break up with you. But consistently, when people don't like us, when people like us, they rarely, if ever, show signs that they don't like us. But when people like us, they do show signs that they like us. Why? Because a lot of the times they try to soften the blow, right? They know they're hurting your ego. They know you like them. They know that you're in love with them, but they don't want to hurt you. So they cloak their signs of dislike with signs of liking you, right? As a way to soften the blow. But what happens with that is that it makes it more confusing. So how do you decipher it? It's very simple. If they like you, there's no confusion. You don't have to watch my channel. You don't have to go to Reddit. You don't feel confused or stressed out. If they don't like you, there's confusion, there's uncertainty, there's anxiety. But also, when they like you, you notice that there's no change in energy. You see, I want you to be able to feel people's energy, not look at the signs. And you can sense there's an energy shift when somebody stops liking us. You notice you tend to see different facial expressions. Their tone of voice has a different intonation. The way they look at you is a little different. And they're all little things that gives an impression, that gives a vibe to people, right? So that's the first thing. You got to be able to know when somebody doesn't like your ass. Above every sign in the universe, right? Because too many people just focus on the signs and they like you, and that's why you end up getting played. Signs of dislike, signs of aggression hold more weight than freaking Teletubby signs that they like you. The fuck? Like they say hi, that could be a sign that they like you. Yeah, sure. But if they look, but if they roll your eyes at you, that's a bigger sign. And too many people will focus on the smile and completely disregard the eye roll. And what they do then is when they see that sign, they react with insecurity. They react with chasing, which pushes the person away a little bit more. The next sign is a sign that they respect you. People can like you. People could dislike you too. But the most important thing is getting their respect. When somebody doesn't respect you, this is what you tend to see. They're late to the meetups. I'm telling you, this is something that happens all the time. It's not an exception. It's not an exception. They're late to the meetups. And usually they're late to the meetups. I'll tell you why, okay? It's because they don't care how you feel. They don't value your time. And it's really a passive-aggressive move. What's funny is that most likely they don't even notice they're being passive-aggressive. Like, they don't even notice it. They're just late because they say, oh, they'll wait. They'll be there. They're not going to lose interest. They're not going to walk away. They're not going to walk away. They're still going to be there. They've been there. I've been late a few times and they're still there. I get the impression that even if you get mad, you're going to come back to me. Or I get the impression that if you get mad, I'm going to just find somebody else because I don't want to respect people. Some people just don't want to respect people. Some people have to show that they're superior through disrespecting your time. It's like when a boss makes you wait outside and they're there inside and they make you wait just to show you they're better than you. Some people are that insecure. So signs that they don't respect you and that you have to watch out for, and do not let the positive feelings you have for them cloud these signs. One, they don't react to the things you say, right? You say something and then they immediately say, yeah, so anyways. Like, they completely disregard what you have to say. They're never on time and they never apologize for being late. When they talk over you, they try to make fun of you any chance they get with other friends or in front of you. They don't respect your problems. They don't respect your pain points. They don't. If you might think something is a big deal, they'll say, no, it's no big deal. You're just overreacting. They don't see your problems as a big deal. When they tell you that they tell your secrets to other people in front of you and behind your back, they diss your interests, your looks, and above all, they lie to you. And honestly, the lying part is the biggest one. When they don't respect you, they'll lie to you, man. They'll lie to you, you know, or they'll cancel on you last minute. Like, those are the things that you tend to see. And, you know, I'm hoping I'm speaking to the choir, but name calling, hitting you, that type of shit, that's a sign that the person doesn't respect you. And above all is the look they give you. It's a disgust look, you know. And when you're in that situation, the situation is not how do you make them respect you. The solution is just get the fuck out. Honestly, like you're not gonna change someone who looks down on you and doesn't think you're worth their time, or better yet, they think they're doing you a favor, where they think they're above and beyond your league, so they could treat you like shit because they're doing you a favor. The next one, when they want space. Signs, you got to be able to learn when people want space. And the way you sense that is that they're a little cold. That's all. They're a little cold, and you notice that they may go somewhere else in the apartment or house. They may sit a little further away, and you'll notice is that the reason that the signs that they want space is that they get over it after a few days, and then they go back to normal, right? That's a real thing. And usually you'll notice this desire for space is after a prolonged period of hanging out, or after like a relatively long time of hanging out, like on vacation, or maybe you spent the weekend together, and you'll notice that they'll just want to be somewhere else and not in front of you. And what you have to do is not take that personal. You can't be taking that personal, because it's not personal. It has nothing to do with you. They just want some space. And the problem that most couples have is that they take this personal. And that's where incompatibility comes into place. All that means is that you guys are not compatible. That's a real thing. The next one is your emotional intelligence. I think this is the most important one. You got to be able to sense when people are emotionally retarded. Honestly, I can't deal with this. Like you might not be able to do 1 + 1. I'll accept that. But if you can't read when somebody doesn't like you, if you can't read when somebody's not really your friend, that looks bad. That's a bad look. Okay. So what are the some signs? One, they lack emotional control. They can't control their emotions. And other signs is they can't control their emotions, so they have emotional outbursts. You see strong addictions. You'll have money problems. Impulsive. They're very impulsive. And above all, like I said, money problems. Because money has an emotional quality. It's not just money. And people who have bad emotional control, they usually get into a lot of debt, because like saving money and controlling your money is pretty much impulse control, right? Criminal record, history of abuse, unable to have delayed gratification. They want things instantly. They can't wait. They're very impatient, and when they don't get what they want, they burst out in anger. And above all, they can't take criticism. They can't self-reflect. They're never wrong. They're always a victim. Everyone else is wrong. People like that, you got to get out of the doorway. You got to get out of that. Why? Because these people will ruin your emotional intelligence. You reacting to their stupidity might bring you down to their level. You don't have to be the smartest person in terms of IQ. We don't need that. Because IQ a lot of times can also be social class. But you could be a village person in the middle of fucking Timbuktu and have extremely high emotional intelligence. It's not the same as 1 + 1. When somebody has this high emotional intelligence, there's a peace about them. They have wisdom. When somebody's smart, they can tell you facts. When somebody has emotional intelligence, they have a self-awareness. They have what people call common folksy wisdom. And that's the type of people you want to be with. And you want to be able to decipher people like that. And you just see them by just this. Like they're calm in the midst of pressure. They're happy with the little things in life. They don't need too many big things to satisfy them. A lot of times when people have, which goes into the next sign, when people are very impulsive, a lot of times they're cheaters. They'll cheat, right? And that goes into the next sign. You got to be able to know when you're dealing with a cheater. And you'll see a cheater, one, they have low impulse control. They love adrenaline. Anytime I see a girl who's addicted to climbing, to like jumping off a cliff, that's a red flag. Like, why are you so compulsively driven to take risk? That red flag. People who are daredevils, people who love taking risk, unfortunately, they're fun, but they're not. They may not be stable partners, man. Because what that says. It says about their dopamine system. They crave high stimulation. So what do you think happens when they start dating you and you guys get to the point of habituation, where you guys start to see each other as family, where you guys stop feeling that intenseness, but now you feel that warmth? What's going to happen? They're going to see you and get bored and want satisfaction someone else. They may not leave you, but they might cheat on you. You got to go with people who don't have such a high high craving for dopamine or adrenaline. Those are usually the people that are usually most stable. So it's very important you look for people out like that. Now, the last sign I want to be able to talk about is comparing themselves. You gotta be, sorry, people. You gotta be careful with people who are always comparing their lives to other people and are never satisfied with their lives because of comparison. And this is why. When you're with them, they're gonna be comparing you to somebody else. Their relationship, they're not gonna be unhappy. They're not gonna be happy with their relationship, and eventually they're gonna compare their relationship with another relationship. They're gonna compare their children with another children. They're gonna compare how they look with other people. They're never gonna be happy with you. You're never gonna be enough. People who are highly insecure, nothing is ever enough. Even if they have friends that love them, they're gonna look at the cool friends that they're not part of, or the cool people in their school that they're not part of, and they're not gonna be happy with you. They're gonna say, man, I wish these were my friends. They're gonna still be with you because out of convenience, but they're always gonna be looking up. They're never gonna be looking straight at you. They're always gonna be looking at their peripheral vision, who's better. And people like that are just perpetually unhappy. Nothing is ever enough for people like that. And if you sense that, you can sense that because they're always comparing themselves. They're always trying to have the best clothes, the best girl, the best guy, the best house, the best car. It's never enough to just exist. And you'll notice that even when they have kids, their kids have to be the best basketball player. The kids have to be the smartest player. Hey, what about this? Hey, don't you look? It's the Asian stereotype. For all of my Asian followers, I don't want to be, I don't want to offend you guys. But I'm just saying, did you see his son? He was better. He's better than you at math. Why aren't you better? Where that type of stuff, people, it'll get to you eventually. Like and you see this in parents a lot, where your parents tend to compare you to your cousins, and you end up hating your fucking cousins because of that. Like, people who compare people are just highly insecure, and I would recommend, if you could, don't be in a relationship with them, because they're just never going to be happy. All right, if you guys enjoy these videos about stoicism, dating, relationships, self-help, moving up in life, I would recommend you guys check out some of my courses that I have for sale. These courses are courses for men and women. For example, Nice Girl, Nice Guy is a course about how to become more assertive. Natural Chemistry is a course for women that I have on how to develop strong relationships. Dark Game is a controversial course that I have for guys on how to attract women in their life and keep it. It's not as dark as it seems, but we do talk about some dark psychology in here. Psychological Game of Attraction is a course that we made for women who are single. And as you see, we have a course about how to develop charisma. Emotional Mastery, which is a course about how to develop a meditation practice and how to improve your emotional life, to become more resilient, to not let rejection hit you so hard, to be able to bounce back from failure. I have a course called Nice Guy, which is a course for guys who are single and guys who want to be able to develop more assertiveness training, right? Most of these courses come at $99. And there you can also purchase the bundle, where you guys can purchase all of the courses in one go at a discounted rate, right? We have a bundle for women and a bundle for men. So click in the description down below to check them out. You can browse around and see the courses that you like. And if you don't like them, you guys can ask for a 30-day money-back guarantee, and I'll give you guys the money back, okay? And in fact, we actually have a new one for women right now we're developing. It's called The Feminine Woman. So if you're a woman watching, this course is specifically to help women become more feminine, to embrace their feminine while embracing their masculine energy. And I'm actually going to make a course for that, like that for men, which is called a Masculine Man, which is a course on how to develop masculinity and develop masculine energy, to attract women in your life, to attract business success in your life, to be able to be better socializing, to read people better. It's truly an all-around course. So if you guys want to check out those courses, click on the description down below where it says purchase the courses, and I'll see you guys inside. Bye-bye.